Well, that certainly was a game. And oh man, what a fantastic game it was. And that was a bad cover. Bruins friends, it is time to hug it out. Because that is a 9! Count them! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 4 victory over the Montreal Canadiens. Welcome back to Into the Den. With it on my actual PC because turns out that my power supply cable was at my house. And I don't have a car. I don't have a car on campus, so I had to get my dad to bring it over. And then the last game that we had was was one that I had to record at the house for personal reasons. I do not want to get into that for right now, because right now I have something that I need to do. I know that I said that I was going to do this once the tweet of mine got to 15 likes. Yeah, if this one got to 15 likes, I was gonna do a Jack Edwards impersonation of the opening of his opening. But you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. And yes, I know I retweeted my own tweet. I wanted to farm engagement. All right. It's an original 6 matchup of Hockey Night in New England, presented by Berkshire Bank, the official bank of NESN's Boston Bruins coverage. This original 6 matchup comes your way this original 6 matchup is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And it comes your way live from the Hub on Causeway at TD Garden, where the Boston Bruins celebrate their 4th Eras night of the season against the Montreal Canadiens. And hello again, everybody. High above the ice, alongside Andy Brickley with Andrew Raycroft at ice level. I'm Jack Edwards. A little bit of stumbling, but you get the point. You get what I was doing. And the era we were celebrating tonight was the late 80s to all the way up to 2000, dubbed New Blood, New Beginnings, which takes us to the fact that the Montreal Canadiens, for 45 years, completely owned the Boston Bruins. They laid claim to the Boston Bruins franchise, beating us in every imaginable way. Although, to be fair, the Habs of the 70s beat everybody in every imaginable way. When you have, I don't know, Serge Savard and Guy Lafleur on your team, it's hard to really go up against that. But still, this wasn't something that the Habs. But still, we weren't just a casualty of the Habs from during their 70s dynasty. We were victims to them back during World War II. And think about all the crazy shit that happened from 43 to 88 that the Bruins just could not beat the Habs in. World War II ended. We had the civil rights movement in America. We had JFK getting his head turned into salsa. We had Vietnam. We had Watergate. We had Reagan's entire presidency, where he basically laid the foundation for every single domestic failure in the United States since. And somehow throughout all of that, the Bruins could not beat the Canadiens. And for what it's worth, tonight it really looked to start like they weren't going to be able to. Which brings us to tonight. So let's actually talk about it. Because our lineup looked a little bit different than what it looked like over the past few weeks. Most notably, we had 4 returning faces. We had up front, we had Matt Patra returning to the lineup. On the back end, we had Brandon Carlo and Derek Forbort making their returns, and between the pipes we had Linus Ullmark. And let's talk about the game, because Forbort was one of two players tonight on the Bruins. Was one of two skaters tonight for the Bruins that did not record a point. It was him and Patra, and really for Forbort, it was for really good reason. It was for really good reason that he did not record a point, because he sucked. He sucked in his return. All cards on the table. Forbort sucks. He is worse than Parker Wotherspoon. He is worse than Mason Lohrei, who got sent down to Providence for Forbort to play. By the way, two of the goals the Bruins allowed tonight were on the penalty kill. And what have we heard about Derek Forbort the entire time that he's been out? Is that he's so useful to the penalty kill. You couldn't have a good penalty kill without Derek Forbort, who had 2 goals scored on him tonight. 2 goals, one of which was completely his fault. The second, that being the second one, it was either the second one or the first one. Whichever one was scored by Joel Armia. He overcommits to man-on-man coverage on Sean Monahan, and completely allowing that passing lane to Armia to exist, even though Forbort skating backwards can see that Jesper Boqvist has to cross the entire Pacific Ocean just to get even within the tiniest bit of range to covering Joel Armia. What the heck, Forbort? You completely screwed us on this one. But it doesn't matter, because we scored 9 goals tonight. And for what it's worth, the Habs weren't that great in front of their own net either. For all that we say about the Bruins being terrible at offensive rebound control, well, they didn't do. The Habs sucked on net front defense tonight, and that's part of why they had to pull Sam Montembeault to have Caden Gooley, not Caden Gooley, Caden Primo. In the in between the pipes during the last goal. But not great. Not a great first period. And even Cam Neely. Even Cam Neely said as much. But there was one player who did have a really good first period, and I know people are probably gonna say Heinen. People are probably gonna say Carlo. I'm happy that you're back, Carlo. I'm very happy that Brandon Carlo is back. Honestly, he is part of the reason why the Habs didn't score more. Carlo is indispensable on this team. But one player that played really good tonight, Trent Frederick. Yes, he only had 1 point. He played fantastic. And that fight that he had with Monahan was just the microcosm of it. He only had 1 point. But he did so much. He did so much with that 1 point. And it just reaffirmed that Frederick has come into his own this season. And that fight that Frederick had was in the second period, and man, the second period was kind of quintessential Bruins in the second period. We played a little bit better than the first period, but there were still some glaring issues. Yes, we still had a frustrating few moments in our own zone, particularly with the Brendan Gallagher goal. Oh my God! Look, Ullmark not amazing in his return, but he's gonna get back. He's gonna get back to normal, and that's fine. That's fine. I have no qualms with waiting on Ullmark for a little bit. I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah. But come on, this defense, come on, you can't let Gallagher be that wide open and just tap it in. You can't let him just tap it in. Yeah. And I say that knowing full well that that one of Heinen's goals was him just tapping it in, and tapping it off his stick, and then it bounces off his skate into the net. I'm surprised that Habs fans were not calling that a distinct kicking motion, even though it wasn't. Second period, we got a goal from Heinen and a goal from Coyle. Well, Coyle also had a really good game tonight. I think that it's hard to really say this. It sucks to say this because they played so well together at the start of the game, at the start of the season. I'm fine with splitting up. I'm fine with splitting up Coyle and Frederick at this point. And I think honestly more people should. And it's not really saying that they play worse together. It's that Coyle has independently taken up the mantle as a top six center on this team, and that is great. That's fantastic. That is exactly what we need. Without Bergeron, without Krejci, we need someone who can take up the mantle as a top line center. And Zacha, thank God he scored tonight. Third goal in like 2 months. That's from him, by the way. Zacha, try as he might, he's not really that great he's not really a top line center at this point. Geeky, I know they tried to make him work. He's all right. He's not a top line center. Coyle, I think at this point we can say that he is a quality top line center for the Bruins right now. Well, or at least a quality top six. But let's get to the third period. The third period, oh man. The only penalty that happens is Nick Suzuki slashing Charlie Coyle less than a minute after Zacha's goal. And who scores on it? Danton Heinen. And in over 450 games in the NHL, that man has finally scored a hat trick. Oh man. That felt good. The vibes at TD tonight, immaculate. Yes, there was a little bit of unease in the beginning, but I think once we scored that fifth goal, we knew that this is going to be a little bit of an easier. This is going to be a little bit of a run. Pasta scored his 30th. Marchand broke the record set by both Johnny Busick and Patrice Bergeron for most consecutive seasons in Bruins history with 20 or more goals, with his 12th this season. And man. And Zacha scored. Zacha. It's funny. Pasternak scored his 30th tonight, off of a really good rebound and then it went to Marchand's 20th, and then it went to Zacha's 10th, which also ended up being Zacha's 100th goal tonight. In the NHL tonight. Amazing. Let's have fun with numbers, why don't we? And and the Bruins faithful, they wanted some fun with numbers. You could hear them when they weren't chanting, when they weren't taunting the Habs with the ole 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 chant. They were chanting, "We want 10! We want 10! We want 10! We want 10!" And when you have a team that is that fired up when you have a team that is that fired up, and you have a fan base that fired up, it's gonna be a fun time. And yes, the Habs were not really a great team, but for a night honoring the legacies of guys like Rick Middleton, Raymond J. Bork, the original Ray J, and the man who is currently the president of hockey operations of the Bruins, Cam Neely. I say currently as if he hasn't been that for like the past 10, 15 years. And a night honoring their legacy, especially the legacy of beating the Montreal Canadiens for the first time in a series for the first time in 45 years. Whether the Habs were good or not, the Bruins needed to win tonight. The Bruins needed to win tonight, and win they did. Win they did. And now we go to something a little bit more difficult. Next game on the 22nd, we have the Winnipeg Jets, and that is going to be a real test. That is going to be a really, really big test, because if I'm not mistaken, the Winnipeg Jets, oh yeah, that's right. The Canucks won tonight, so they're at the top of the league. The Jets were for a time the best team in the entire league, and to be fair, even after tonight, they're still third in the league. They're still third in the entire league. Which means we're going from sixth place. We're going against the team on game tonight. We won against the sixth best team in the Atlantic. On Tuesday or Monday. Sorry, Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. On Monday, we're going against the third best team in the league. And I really, really hope that within those 2 days we have a serious look at the penalty kill and reevaluate it and reevaluate Forbort's presence on this team. Really, we sent down Lori for this. We scratched Wotherspoon for this. Wotherspoon honestly has been really good for the Bruins so far. But yes, we scratched Wotherspoon and sent Lori down for this. We also sent Beecher down for Patra to be not great. And look, Patra, I'm willing to give him a pass. He's a young guy. He's a rookie. I'm fine with him not being amazing right now because there are still some growing pains for him. Forbort, this is like your third year being here, and like your seventh or eighth year in the league. Also, you're going to your old team. So also you're going up against your old team on Monday. Take care with that. And y'all, that is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. So thank you all so much for enduring tonight in its episode. Please leave a like. Please leave a like. Subscribe if you really liked it, and leave a comment down below of just anything. Just anything. It helps with the algorithm, please. And I will see you guys on Monday. Take care.